In this activity, we'll be performing repetition using the loop keyword. To get started, open up the A5 activity by double-clicking. Once the activity loads, you'll see that the topic is looping using the loop statement. As usual with activities, pause this video and attempt to complete the activity on your own first, and then resume the video to see my implementation and to gain any insights on the activity. Okay, so let's get started. As we can see, our topic is looping using the loop statement. Our program requirements are to display 1 through 4 in the terminal. In order to do so, we should use a mutable integer variable. We should also use the loop statement. And within that loop statement, we should print the variable. We also should use the break keyword in order to exit the loop. If we don't do so, the loop will go on forever, and that wouldn't be so good. So let's copy some of these notes into the main function, and we can start writing our program. So first we need a mutable integer variable. So I'll call mine n. And we'll start with 1, because our instructions indicate we should display 1 through 4. So we should start off with the number 1. Next, we need to use a loop statement. So that's easy enough. We just type in loop, and we have our loop block ready to go. Next, we need to print the variable within the loop statement. To do so, we should use the print line macro, and we can use the special token to print out variables. So colon question mark surrounded by curly braces will print out the variable that's indicated after the comma. Next, we need to use break to exit the loop. So if we just type break, what'll happen is we'll do a print line with the number 1 since n is set to 1. Then we'll exit the loop and our program will be finished. However, if we take a look at the requirements, we need to display 1 through 4. So right now it only displays 1. We want to display 1 through 4. So in order to do that, we need to increase the value of our variable. But variables are immutable by default, so we need to make this variable mutable. Use the mut keyword in order to do that. Next, we need to add some logic in order to determine when the loop should be exited. So as we can see at the top, we need to display 1 through 4. So what that means is we need to check to see if the variable is a certain number, and when it is, we'll exit. So we want to print out 4, so that would be the last one. So we'll check to see if n is equal to 4, and if so, we'll break out of the loop. So on the first iteration of this loop, n will be equal to 1. We'll print it out. And then if n is equal to 4, we'll break. One more thing that's needed in order to complete this loop is we need to actually increase the value of our mutable variable by just setting it to itself plus 1. This is also called incrementing. So we're incrementing this variable by 1. And now, each time the loop iterates, each time this whole block executes, we'll print out the value, check to see if it's equal to 4. If so, break. If not, we increase the value and then return to the beginning and repeat the process. Eventually, because of this line here, the value will increment from 2 to 3 to 4. Once it's 4, this will evaluate to true. The loop will break. Execution will exit out of the loop. So let's give it a go and see what happens. To run this program, go to the terminal by going to terminal new and then typing in cargo run -q -bin and then the activity number. We're on activity 5, A5. So type in A5, we'll run it. And as we can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Just as the requirement states, display 1 through 4 in the terminal. This concludes the activity video. I'll see you in the next presentation.